and we've now jumped a tooth forward onto the non-Camry idle. Oh, the SR's is perfect. The engine of choice, I think, really. Are we actually starting the intro like this?
Fuck yeah, we are.
Ugh, okay. Well, so there's a lot to explain what's happened. Feels a bit like we're filming the same video again. We're filming the same video again.
Pretty much, yeah, I think so.
Let's start with the car then. We'll start with the car. Otherwise, I feel like we're just going to keep talking about motor stuff. It's going to be on and on and on and on. So, everything's pulled back apart. We're just erasing round one. We're starting round one now. Can we do that?
We can do that.
Yeah, you can probably see by the shed, it's like, no, we're blurring shit from the shed. No, we don't actually show them the shed. We don't want to actually see the shed. Shit has gone everywhere, hasn't gone to plan. Squared up some stuff in the front end. Thought at the last meet that the car was handling like amazing. Turned out, tie rod was cooked, wheel bearing was cooked, shit was falling out of it. Rear shocks, the wrong springs in there, and like, the spring had like fallen out, didn't have a helper, and then like jammed itself. Anyway, I like backed the car in the trailer and I was like, why is one corner really high for the other? And then we started looking at it, was like, anyway, I think we had a bit working against us. And then I got a little bit excited because, as you guys know, we kind of like just whizzed the top off one of the pistons and ran it after we had the valve dropping issue. And I was just ran it like that. Decided to pull the motor down, flick another piston in it. We actually found a few more things, so we might just go through kind of what we've done, where we're at. But basically, like this engine, when the diff broke, like revved really high as well. So we found a little bit of damage. I think we probably saw close like 11,000 because the motor was like under full load at like 9, fully loaded, and then the diff broke and it just revved to sync error on the cars basically. So who knows how much, but we've got the engine back apart, got the new piston chuck in. We ended up giving the head a bit of a birthday, all new valve springs through it. I think it's probably best judgment once we went past 10,000, probably put new valve springs in there, even though they're already brand new. Everything else seemed quite good, but yeah, now we're just going to try and dial the engine a little bit more. We really need a little bit more bottom end. That's kind of what we're chasing. So we'll might tune the cam timing a little bit, and hopefully that makes it not quite like a Camry, because at the moment like it is so lame. Like you could just totally think that we've got Mum's Camry running through the pits. That's it. So we just want the not Camry idle, ideally, and a little bit more power down low, but more importantly, the not Camry idle. So yeah, while we had the motor apart, got the better of me. Like it started off just being a piston, but I thought I better put some valve springs in it and sorted some valve springs. I actually noticed that on the exhaust side around our new retainers, the shims had been out and come back in again. So I've actually just bumped up the seat pressure a little bit more on the exhaust than what we already were, just by running like a bigger seat under the springs. Head backed up all sweet, like no valve slip pistons or anything like that. We've actually got heaps of valve clearance in this motor, so it's not really a problem. But yeah, I sort of dropped this one on Engine Rico and gave them like a day, so I must give them a bit of a shout out. I always get like such a mirror finish on their heads too, that was amazing. And when I was using other providers for my machining, I used to have to like finish off the combustion chambers a little bit of 1200 just to get the marks out of them. They do like such a good job, you really never have to. I've been in there and they've like tidied up some of the marks around this cylinder from when we had the valve drop before, so she should be good as new. Oh yeah. You really don't want to use tools and aids if you don't have to. Just a nice firm little...
You done this before, mate?
Interesting. Looks like Mazworks has changed their head gaskets to Pexi ones. Just running their full grommet head gasket, but does it really look any different to what we had? No. All the ribs are in the same spot. I'm fairly sure Power Enterprise makes all these head gaskets that everyone runs. Just random different names. Yeah, it's exactly the same. We already used that one a couple of times, so time for refreshing. Yeah, we kind of forgot a step. So before, when the piston was gone, I actually put like the cam dial wheel on the front of it and redialed the cams in. And it's got our trusty little friend, the Play-Doh. Put it on like, top of the pistons, like in where your valve reliefs were, just to make sure we had enough valve to piston. And you put these bloody things on wing nuts or something, don't we, really? This always sucks. I don't think I can handle having an 8-cylinder. Like, maybe I'd have to work on it less, I suppose. You know, I said earlier about the valve float. This was like one of the cylinders where you can really see it. Can you maybe come around this way so like your best man? So you can see like a little mark there on the back. And then even the top of the valve's got a little bit of a mark on it. That shim has been out and then gone back again while the engine's been running. It'll be interesting to see if we still have the problem. We've bumped up the exhaust spring a little bit to see if we can combat it. In saying that, when the diff broke and this thing had a big over rev, I reckon that's probably what's happened here, but we'll just keep monitoring anyway and see if we have a problem going on forward. This is the head package, which has been fairly reliable, I'd say. Oh, we've done it. We finally got away from it. So, dialed the camshaft in, did this a little bit earlier. I actually had to skip a tooth to be more advanced than it was beforehand. Anyway, we actually had the old setting here, which was the Camry idle, and we've now jumped a tooth forward onto the non-Camry idle and redialed the camshaft in. Can't be sounding like pussies. Another night back at it. Had a bit of a late one last night getting the engine together. Got myself as far ahead as I could. Ideally would have just continued and put the motor in, but big couple of things today. But let's get this bitch. So I've just decided to chuck a new couple of plates in the clutch. This car is notoriously bad for clutches. Like, this thing absolutely spanks them off. I think are we out? We out? We're out. We're out. We're actually out. So that one. Let's go. That. Should be a balanced clutch. Precision markings on it. But yeah, these, like, I think the best thing about these Tilton clutches, like I run the Cerometallic 2 1/4, 2 1/4, 7 1/4. They drive really well and they hold the power good. But I think I just drive on the clutch a lot. So had a little bit of a problem there for a hot minute. Bending clutch pedals and wearing out clutches, but this is what it's like when you're only 4-cylinder. Gotta keep her up. Another handy thing about having a Holland jar is at least you can use the input shaft to align the clutch when I get it in. Yeah. Fresh to go. So I always have 2 of these clutches in the pits, already all prep ready to go. We're planning on doing 4 meetings in 5 weekends, so should be a good time to put a new clutch in the car now, because I didn't actually put a new one in it when we built the motor. But generally I put clutch plates in this every time we drive it. Big boy stuff. We've had some success. Engine's in. We're looking good. Actually went in pretty easily this time, which is nice. Maybe we're just getting good at it from all this practice. Just tidying up a few things now. Obviously after breaking the throttle body last time, we've got a new throttle body shaft. I went with a new TPS. These motors are like really hard on TPSs. Sounds a little bit weird, but just because the harmonics are so bad, it's like fries a lot of TPSs, so just gone to another contactless one here, but hopefully we should have a good run. Didn't think we'd have to life parts like a throttle body, but maybe we do after that last failure. I think this engine's harmonics makes a lot of problems that normal people don't have, but that's just what happens when you have a 4-cylinder that's like this. Probably about as much as we'll give the neighbours for the last 24 hours. But yeah, engine seems really good. Obviously moving that cam timing seems to have got us back a little bit to the sort of response that we had like the old motor. I think we've probably got the cam timing a lot closer to what it was before. But yeah, obviously the engine's like currently untuned, so we'll probably have to head to the dyno, get that sorted out. Still need to change this intercooler pipe because the new throttle body is a little bit shorter before we get that sorted. But yeah, hopefully the idle stays the same because we've finally got past the no Camry idle. Sounds tough. And yeah, the engine seems nice and peppy. So all the response. Hopefully we've got all the desired outcomes that we were looking for. And the thing should be sick. I'm feeling stoked. We've got no leaks. Nothing's fallen off it. Yeah, I'm feeling confident.